What's the point? The only place that feels nice enough to be in is bed. And to stare at the wall, that feels nice too. Maybe I have just enough energy to grab my Game Boy and lose myself in the world of Sims. She has energy. She can do things. Or maybe not. Recently, this was me, at my lowest. My sadness was circumstantial, and I've never experienced depression. And I don't believe it's honest or even right to give advice for something like depression when you've never been through it. I can't comment on that. But what I can comment on is how I was feeling and how I got myself out of it. I naturally am very optimistic. I have a lot of energy and I'm fairly self-motivated. I'm usually not sad for longer than a few hours, and I do feel things really deeply, but I don't stay there for long. But honestly, lately I felt like giving up. I felt like quitting everything that I've once loved. It's really important that I'm always honestly sharing where my heart is currently at the time that I make these. And my energy has felt heavier and not as light and bright this last week. I noticed that I lack energy and motivation when I'm not living in total alignment with myself. When we're not being fully honest about who we are, with ourselves and with others, we lose that connection. Our relationship with our intuition is the most important relationship that we have. We must never lose sight of that. We must never lose sight of our naturalness, our gifts, our unique way of seeing the world. It's so important to live in integrity with ourselves because it's one of the pivotal ways that we can keep our energy channel clear. Michelangelo once described while making the statue of David that before he started his work, the sculpture was already complete within the marble block. It was already there, and he just had to chisel away the excess material. He said, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free." Everything you need to know you have. All you need to do is remove that which is covering it up. Remove the excess and discover the core, the radiance that you already are. Your emotions are your guide. Your emotions indicate and signify to you whether or not you're in alignment with your inner voice. When we feel sad or energetically low, it is a clear indicator that we are not living in total energetic alignment with who we really are. This is why knowing your core values is so important, because when you know the 4 or 5 specific things that you can do to fully embody who you really are, you can actively surround yourself with that value. Just to give you an example, for me, one of my 5 core values is creativity. Anytime I'm going through a funk or I'm just sad, I feel a lot better when I do express that value of creativity. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's private or public. That doesn't matter. What matters is that I'm expressing myself creatively. One of the things I really realized in this last week was doing something is far easier than thinking about doing something. Talking about what you're gonna do is way harder than just doing it. I had this realization last week when I was in my funk, and it was like an eye-opener for me. Because I noticed that if I'm thinking too much about something and I'm not actually going about and doing it physically, like if I'm not actually using my hands and doing something about it, I can get really sad. And this is why movement is so important. When you're experiencing sadness or low energy or a lack of motivation, please remember to give yourself epic compassion and love for yourself. One of the things I like to tell myself when I'm going through a low funk in my life is, I am feeling sad, and that's okay. Insert whatever emotion you feel, but I am feeling blank, and that's okay. Just acknowledging yourself, acknowledging where you're at and how you're feeling, and being a witness to that, being accepting of that's how you feel, It's really, really important. I don't think, as a society, I don't feel like we've cultivated a gentleness with ourselves and with others. Like in the media, corporations, all of this, like all of the news, the social media, everything, we don't see enough compassion. We don't see enough gentleness. And I think that's something we really need, especially when we're going through a low period in our lives, is we need to actively express compassion for ourselves. I always say that appreciation in life is something that we cannot get enough of, and it's true, but I want to add to that now. Another thing that we cannot get enough of in our lives, one thing that we are starved for as human beings, is compassion. Having compassion for ourselves all the time, even in low periods of our lives, but also having compassion for other people, having compassion for nature, for the earth. That's a whole other topic, but we need more compassion for ourselves. And if you're feeling low, please give yourself that. Please give yourself that. Another thing that really helps when you're feeling low is sleeping, taking a nap. Because what you're doing when you're sleeping is you are allowing your body to reset. Sleep is amazing. It's like this natural refresher. It's like this automatic set point. It takes you back to your neutrality, how you naturally are, your embodiment, your personality, your temperament, your emotions, whatever you naturally are in your life. Sleeping will automatically set you back to where you were before all the stuff happened, before the emotions overtook you, before you felt overwhelmed or chaotic. Just take a little nap. I know not everyone can nap, but if you can, take a 10-minute nap, 15-minute nap, or go to sleep early. Like if you've had a long day and you are just fed up and you're emotional and you're overwhelmed and stressed, just be like, I'm calling it a day. I'm going to sleep early. I'm going to sleep. I'm gonna put the kid to sleep, and then I'm gonna go to sleep. 10 minutes later, I'm just done. I'm done with the day. Time to go to sleep. Honor yourself, honor your energy, go to sleep. I promise you're gonna feel a little bit better in the morning. I've realized lately that quietly expressing myself in a creative way is natural medicine for my heart. It is natural medicine for me. Just going outside and taking a photo, writing a poem in my journal, painting a picture, writing a letter to a friend, writing a short story, allowing my imagination to take me somewhere else, and actively, physically embodying that and creating something from that, making that idea tangible. That is me embodying my deepest value of creativity. So you have to find your values, to know who you really are and what your 5 core values are. I actually wrote a slow living ebook and journal, which you can get in my shop. I'll include the link down below, but I have a whole section on this in my slow living ebook about values and how to find your values. And I give you different exercises and stuff, and it's really helpful. Doing this intention setting and this value work has really changed my life and helped me in a huge way. And it's something I frequently rely on when I'm going through hard times, is relying on my values and asking myself, how can I embody this value given my situation right now? Given the circumstances in my life right now, how can I still embody this value now? Something that's really helped me.
They say it's darkest before the dawn, and I believe this is true. With every dark day comes a lighter one. If there's one thing that I hope you remember when you too are going through a hard time in your life, it's this. This day will pass. and so too will this emotion. When we observe our energy, we're better able to move through heavier emotions with ease. Don't ever feel guilty for feeling what it means to be human. If you ever find yourself saying, "I should be happier," stop yourself. Telling yourself not to feel sad will never negate the sadness. Instead of ignoring your feelings, embrace them, observe them, move through them, for they will eventually pass. Like a wave, it eventually moves on, and observing the sorrow is how it flows through.